Hey folks, we have a PlayStation 3 with backwards compatibility, and we have a problem with these NEC tokens. We've removed these. We've got the strat. Now let me show you the strategy we're using. So I'm heating up the board, getting as much temperature into it as I can, using my homemade board heater, preheater. Then the best I can figure is this. We go into these, and we want to get as much leaded solder as we can, or if you've got it, low melt solder. So I'm just going to go in here. We've already warmed the board up a little bit. Our work temperature is somewhere around, looks like about 40 or 50 degrees. Our bed is at 100 degrees. This is going to just help us get a bit more temperature up. I've got the big tip on. I've got the C245 tip, so that we can get enough heat and solder into these. I'm just going to feed, these are strips along this way, so we want to get as much solder down into those strips as we can. Our work temperature is 50 degrees at the moment. Just helps reduce the time getting temperature into the board. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I have a habit of that, working off the bench, and then no one can see me. Now these are capacitors, they're multiple layers, and the best approach I've found is a destructive one, but it works. You can see these covers are starting to melt. You can take those off before if you want. That's up to you. But I'll show you how they go together in a second. Don't worry about those balls on the board. We're going to clean those up. Just make sure the pad actually gets solder on it. We can reuse this solder. All right, I'm happy with that. Looks messy, but it doesn't matter because that's not how it's going to stay. Now, the method that I've found is simply this. Pop the cap off. They're only a plastic cap. There we go. Cap off, that's layer one. You get a bit of heat into them, they'll come off a bit easier. And it's best to get heat into them anyway, because you're going to have to get heat in it. Now there's a plastic rim around the outside, as you can see there. You're going to need to remove that to get into the layers. There are layers of these capacitors stacked vertically. Just be careful with the board there. I'm being a little bit frivolous here, but there are no close traces there that you can see, so you're pretty safe. It is a very, very destructive process. Tweezers. So we're going to simply get under these layers, try and leverage under these layers, and then you should be able to lift them up. There's one layer at the bottom that's going to be a bit of a nightmare. It's going to be the hardest one. I think I was using my other tweezers. Where are they? Where are my other tweezers? Gone AWOL. Here they are. All right, I've got my other tweezers. These ones I'm using with a bit of leverage, like this. I'm getting this in here and then leveraging up. So you want to get under the chip like that. You don't want to dig into the board. You're just going flat, and then this just peels off. Then what you're left with is one layer. This is much easier to get warped into. It's going to be quicker to get this off. But this is also the hardest layer. This layer has got a very low tolerance between the board and itself. And it's going to take quite a bit of heat to get in there. You can at this stage add a bit more leaded solder. We can use this solder here and actually melt it down into there. And then also across here, there's 2 bars across this way that you want to get warm. There's one there, and there's one next to it. You probably won't get these 2 off in one go. I've been doing them one at a time. But getting our unleaded solder, or leaded solder in there, sorry, will help. These things come off by running solder and heat across the length of them and then swiping them off. There you go. And it should come out nice and shiny like that. If you're not getting a nice shiny finish, then you're still dirty and you've got remnants of the bits in there. Keep cleaning your tip. The tip's going to get filthy in this because there's bits of plastic and all sorts of horrible stuff. Let's get this one off. Use an iron with lots of temperature. Now I'm just going to get the tweezers in under the corner here. That's just my heat pad saying that it's up to temperature. You can see all these bits of plastic getting stuck to the iron. It's very annoying. I'm glad I don't use my C245 tip for much. You just got to get under the corner. Let's get a bit more solder in. More solder means more heat. This is a slow process. Let's get some more heat from the heat gun. Put some weight into that area. We can pull these off while we're waiting. They're just a plastic surround, nothing special. Big thick board takes lots of temperature. It likes to just soak up heat. Make sure you don't leave any bits of solder anywhere. This is looking shinier. Still not quite. This plastic is a nightmare. Try and get rid of all this plastic as soon as you can. I'm told a lot of people use a Dremel to get these off. I don't know about that. I like to maintain the integrity of the board. You might have seen on the other side there on other ones, we got them off pretty clean. There's 2 strips of solder, one out here and one across here. You've got to get that whole strip hot to get this off. You see that solder going soft there? There it goes. So now we should be able to get under that corner and lift it up. There it goes. So we'll take it off this side. We don't want to rip the trace. Just be careful with it. Don't force it. It will just come loose. There you go. That's how you remove an NEC Tokin from a PlayStation 3. And just to check, we're going to go over and make sure there's nothing left in here. These should be nice and shiny and smooth. There we go, folks. Ta-da! PS3 sleep token. I mean, NEC Tokin. Thanks, folks. I hope that helped.